Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers. I'm looking at a book from Oxford University Press, which is written by Lucy McLynn. It's entitled Working Time and Holidays, a Practical Legal Guide. And an important one too, because we all like our holidays and we really do like to know what we're entitled to. And of course this book is aimed at a particular market. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's from OUP and it's a standard structure for the book, some cases at the beginning, and then you've got nice paragraph numbers at the sides, which I find very helpful. Then at the back there's some very useful index, and of course in addition to that you've got some appendices which start about here. It's about 3/4 of the way through the book on precedents, so it's extremely useful. It's aimed at employers. Let me just get that straight right at the beginning. We've given it a title. My wife Elizabeth and I have written a review of this. We had a chat about it, and we've given it the review No Vacation Here, with this excellent practical approach to working time. That's really what it is. Forget about the European Union and all the other stuff. Let's look and see where we are today concerning the issues, because if you're an employer or a practitioner advising on employment law, you would do well in our view to acquire this book, because it offers clear, careful structure, and it's an accessible use of guidance throughout on what has become a very difficult and technical area of law for many, and that's the issues relating to working time and holidays for employed workers. Fortunately, I'm not in that category because I'm self-employed, but it is primarily for the employer. It's fundamentally a book which gives you a guide through the Working Time Directive, and obviously that was adopted by the EU some time back, and obviously we now have the regulations. Now, author Lucy McLynn has stated in the preface that the working time regulations have been amended numerously by secondary legislation over about 11 years, and been dogged by a not inconsiderable amount of querying and controversy. There's been a lot of discussion. A lot of people feel there hasn't been a proper debate, of course. Though the legislation is complex, employers who fall foul of it can be severely penalised. So therefore we think that this guide ranks as a necessity rather than just an optional purchase for employers and human resource people. McLynn reminds us that one WTR right with a specific calculable financial value is holiday pay, a very vexed subject in its own way, as many part-time workers will know. This of course relates to issues, some of which are unresolved, in chapter 5 of the guide, and you're actually pointed in the direction of further sources of information. It's written in plain language, which is always helpful, very much part of the excellent OUP legal books they publish. It's logical, and it lives up to its title as the practical guide it is, incorporating a number of useful features, frequent asked questions, a checklist, and a detailed index, which is right at the back. There are tables of cases and all the usual stuff, and there are 3 appendices covering precedents, record keeping, checklists, and so forth. Here in one handy volume then, just to sum up, are the practical solutions to the common problems faced by employers, and it's a delight to read this sound work from OUP. Although Lucy McLynn's approach is in the direction of the employer, I think the book is also equally useful as a source of information and guidance for individual employees and those who advise them with the confusions which have been created by the directive. So you won't be taking a vacation when you use this guide. I'd like to thank Lucy McLynn and OUP for, I think, a great additional contribution to the employment law sort of reading list, if you like. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.